So far this year, I've taught you how to properly use a colored pencil by controlling the weight of your hand to either blend colors together or to depict values, or in other words, different types of shadows. For example, this is the value number 3, 2, and 1. It's a medium pressure, a lighter pressure, and 1 is the lightest. Here's an example of this without the boxes. In a world where everything is very nice and smooth, this works out great. But just like the table that I'm working on, not everything is this really flat, solid type of image. So we're going to move on to another layer of complexity called texture. Here I have a texture of a piece of wood, a wooden plank. So the purpose of this assignment is to introduce you to texture and to also use values, which is something we've already learned, and combine them together for a more realistic depiction of different objects in our reality. So this is all the same type of rectangle. This is just strictly with different values. This is strictly with just a texture. And this is still the texture with a 3, 2, 1 type of fade at the going from right to left. For virtual students, you are currently in video number 1. This is the practice video where I will teach you how to create this wooden texture. There's video number 2, which is the actual project. So if you do not watch video 2 and you end up turning in just a wooden plank by itself, you're going to receive a very low grade. I'm having a little bit of an issue with virtual students only watching video number 1 and not watching video number 2. This is your warning. This is just video 1. It's the practice video. You also have one more video right after this one to watch for the real assignment. So for the sake of learning how this texture works, we are going to work as large as possible. So take your paper and turn it sideways like what I have right here in the video, and take your straight edge or your ruler and simply draw a line dividing this paper in half. Okay? We're going to pretend like this is a floor, like a wooden floor, and this is one plank of wood, and this is another one right next to it. So, like with my little example here, wood tends to have these little dark areas called knots. They're like long, dark ovals, and then they have these wavy rings that go out and around it. So, it even was challenging for me to figure out how to do this and make it actually look realistic, but here is a technique that you can do. I see you have a top plank and a bottom plank of wood that we're making. Let's go ahead and put in a long, skinny, dark oval, and that's going to be our knot. Doesn't have to be pretty. Go ahead and put that in. Pause this video until you put this in. Then to figure out how the wavy rings go around, we're going to go up from it. We're going to go up one dot, skip a little, another dot, skip a little, a third dot, skip some more, a fourth dot, skip some more, a fifth dot. All the dots are pretty much the same distance of a skip away from the knot. In contrast, we're going to do dots that slowly get farther and farther away from each other over here. So after you've put 5 dots equally apart from the knot going this way, let's put in a dot here. Skip some space, a dot here, skip a little bit more than you did that time, another here, skip even more than you did that time, another here. It's almost like the planets in a way. It reminds me of like if that's the sun, all kinds of planets. Skipped even more space. If I skipped this much space, then I need to double that space over here. And then we would just assume that the the dots would go off of the paper if we kept going, because that's how we're going to keep the pattern going, is pretending like these little dots steadily go off of the paper. You need to pause the video until you have these little measurement dots. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to keep it simple. They don't have to be wavy rings. We are going to just make ovals. So I'll start at this dot and I need to go to my first measurement dot here, my first measurement dot here. So I'll just make an oval all the way around. Then I have my second measurement dot here, second measurement dot there. I'll do another oval all the way around. Third measurement dot here, third measurement dot there. I'll have an oval going all the way around again. Fourth measurement dot here, fourth measurement dot there. Another oval, and look, I'll even make it go off of the paper all the way around and pretend like it went off of the paper and it's coming over here. Then I'm going to have my fifth measurement dot way up here and over there. I'll go ahead and connect those, pretending like it goes off of the paper and back up and on to the paper. And so what do we do with all this like empty space going on here? Well, I'll just continue to pretend like there's even more dots, and I'll just continue the oval and just pretend like it was up here. And I'll continue with more parts of ovals and even more. So already that's a good start in figuring out the texture of wood. So we could really refine our technique and make this even more realistic. So I'm turning my paper over for the sake of being able to see this in the shot, but you could just do this at the top. I'm just darkening this line up to show that that was one plank of wood, and I'm about to do another plank of wood next to it because it usually has like a dark crease in between the wood. So we're going to do the same thing, but I'm going to teach you how to make it look even better. So let's go ahead and make our knot. Doesn't have to be beautiful. I made my knot. Please pause your video until you do this. Then, just like with this one, I'm going to put 5 dots equally apart from each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then going long ways, I am going to put 5 dots, but it's slowly going to be farther and farther away from each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could get away with one more dot way over here, like a 6th dot, because that's just how it worked out. But really close together, further apart, really far apart. So what really makes this look a lot more like wood is 2 things. The ovals are not so straight. They're like these wavy, they do like these waves. It's not like this perfect ring around the knot. They're like these wavy long ovals. And another thing is they get really close together. Like these lines are pretty spread far apart. I'm going to start really pulling these lines in a lot closer together than this. So I'll show you in a second. So remember, I'm not making a perfect oval. I want to have that kind of wavy hand. So I'll start at my first dot, and you know I have to make a wavy oval. Doing my wavy oval, meeting back at my first measurement dot. Then my second measurement dot needs to meet with this one, but I'm not going to make the oval go out and away. I want these lines to be close together. So my oval is gonna come down, and these lines are getting real close, and it might pull away just a little bit, but then it's gonna come back really close, and it's still really wavy, meeting back. Then I have my third measurement dot here, third measurement dot there. I want this wavy line. It gets real close sometimes, and then I'll pull out to meet this one, and then I'll pull it back real close, nice and wavy, staying really close, going back up. It's already looking like so much more like wood than this one up here. Coming up to my fourth measurement dot, I need to meet my other fourth measurement dot, but I want to do the waviness and pull it in real close sometimes. Look, I have to come up here to meet it. I'll come over here, and then I'll come back, go real close. Oh, it almost touched, but that's okay. Just makes it look more realistic. And I'll even wave it up and over and around just to give it like this really extra cool vibe to it. Looks like, I don't know, like an avocado's coming alive or something. That's what I always thought. This looks like an avocado with a bunch of rings around it. Okay, so then I have to come up to my fifth dot and meet my fifth dot over here. So I'll make it really wavy, get it really close, come out to that fifth dot, go back to being really close, and it even goes off of the paper. And I'm going to pretend like it curved off of the paper. I'm going to hold this down, and I'm curving it back onto the paper, and oh no, look, it went off the paper again. So I'm going to pretend, don't actually draw on my desk, face-to-face students, pretend like it went off the paper, and it's coming back onto the paper, and it's waving around. It's looking a lot like wood. It's looking really cool. Sorry, I'm kind of OCD. I kind of want to like do things. Okay, so, and maybe even fade that out some more. Okay, so I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to come all the way up here and keeping it wavy, bringing it in real close, and I'm going to pretend, I don't know, I'm going to make some more dots. I'm going to come over here and fill this up nice and wavy. Fill this up. And so what I'm going to do to fill up the rest is I'm just going to keep on going. Like what I could do is I could make another knot up here and pretty much do the same. Like maybe I'll have some equal distant dots going one direction, and then do like dots that slowly get farther and farther apart in this direction. I wonder what happens when I do that. So remember to keep it wavy. I'll meet this dot with this one. This one with this one. Remember to always bring it back close to those original lines. And I can meet pretend like it's going off. We don't want to continue the texture up here. Like this is a whole other wooden plank. So pretend like that's the edge of the paper and that it's going off, like this line is pretending to go off, and then meet up here. And then it's getting kind of awkward, but it looks really cool. I have another dot up here that I can, I don't know, I'll make them like be afraid of each other. Like these lines are kind of close to, but it's still kind of scared of that line. And I can just leave that alone, you know. And then come up in here and just add some extra little something, and that's it. So like I've said, for virtual students, this is not the actual project. If you take a picture of this and turn it in, you're not going to get a good grade. There's a whole other video with the actual directions for the project that you will take a picture of and turn in. This is me teaching you how to do individual pieces of wood. You need to go back to Schoology, go back to my assignment, and click on video 2 for directions for the real project.